How do you know when you and I have the right person to move along in your leadership, discipleship pipeline? You know, you don't want to select people out of desperation. You want to select people out of biblical discernment. If you want to know the 5 C's that I've been learning about biblical discernment, not biblical desperation, but biblical discernment when it comes to leadership development, stick with me for some practical tips today. Hey everyone, I'm Denz, and I'm honored and privileged to serve as the lead pastor at Souls Church in the beautiful state of Minnesota. Come on. And I also serve on the leadership team right here with the Harvest Network, a family of churches and leaders that are passionate about advancing God's kingdom on earth. We exist to help raise up healthy leaders, healthy churches, and healthy ministries just like yours. And we're honored today to have you with us as we invest in our leadership development. So thank you so much for tuning in. And hey, let's get right into it, shall we? Today we are talking, everybody, about the 5 C's, the 5 C's of leadership development. You see, the 5 C's are a biblical and balanced approach to having a development discernment. You see, if you and I select people out of desperation and not out of biblical discernment, and I've done that before, and maybe you have as well, you will most likely be stuck with some bad picks, unbalanced teams, and ministry frustrations. But it's interesting because in Exodus chapter 18, it gives us some sound advice and tips that actually Jethro gave when he was speaking to Moses about leadership development. It was actually a great leadership lesson. It says there that Jethro, speaking to Moses, said, "Listen now to me, and I'll give you some advice." Come on, everybody, let's lean in here. "May God be with you. You must," he said, "be the people's representative before God, and they must bring their disputes to you. Teach them God's decrees and instructions, and show them the way they're supposed to live and how they're to behave." That's what we all are called to do in ministry. But then he gave Moses this key. He said, "You must select capable men from all the people, men and women who fear God, trustworthy men and women who hate dishonest gain, and appoint them as officials over thousands, hundreds, 50s, and 10s. See, everybody has different graces. "And have them serve as judges for the people at all times, but have them bring every difficult case to you. The simple cases they can decide themselves. That will make your load lighter because they will share it with you. If you do this and God so commands, you will be able to stand the strain, and all these people will go home satisfied." It's a handful of powerful verses there found in Exodus chapter 18, filled with nuggets that I think we can learn from today. It's a timeless lesson. And I like what Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, told him. Select capable men or women. You see, our church and our network uses the 5 C's of leadership development as a way to help select the right capable fit for ministry position. And I have them here on the screen today because these 5 C's always help us identify when someone is ready to move to the next level of leadership. And I would strongly recommend that you don't ever skip a C or throw out a C. They're all so important when it comes to leadership discernment for development. The first C is calling. Ask yourself this: do they have, or do you sense a calling on them, or do they sense a calling in them to move to the next level? It's so important to be sure that people have calling, so they always go back to what they sense they've been called to do. Not what you've told them to do, but what they've been called to do. So the first thing we look at is their calling. Do they sense God's calling to lead at the next level? And then we encourage people to pray about the opportunity. The second C is commitment. Do they understand the time, the level of responsibility required to lead at the next level? And I can't stress enough, clearly defined expectations, requirements, and commitments are key at this point in people's leadership, discernment, and development. The third C is competency. Have they demonstrated the ability to lead well at their current level, and do they show the potential to develop the necessary competencies at the next level of leadership? And we literally will help people. Sometimes we'll give them an assessment or personality assessment, or have them walk through a form called the SHAPE form that helps us locate their strengths, their skills, their competencies, in addition to their commitment and their calling. The fourth C that we use is character. Character is so important. Do they show and live out biblical character in their everyday life, as they first must lead themselves, then lead others, and then lead their team? Do they have the character, ask yourself, that can withstand greater pressure that will happen as they get more into levels of ministry or more leadership responsibilities that will be brought on? It's so important. And so we literally look at what biblical character is. Are they living this in their everyday life? And we make sure that they know that that is an important quality that we look at when we discern leaders. Lastly is chemistry. Do you connect, collaborate, and work well with the team members that are currently on the team? In other words, we say it this way at our church, and as I say with those that I work with in ministry, do you enjoy being together? Right now, I'm working with one of our production guys right here in the auditorium. I love working with this guy. His name is Riley Dean. He serves on our production team at the church, and I just love serving God with him. I love serving in ministry with him. We've been having a wonderful morning recording and producing messages that are going to help our church and help leaders and help the Harvest Network. And we got chemistry, like we collaborate and work together. And come on, then we're going out for lunch after and having some good old Taco Johns together. But that is chemistry. And you need people you can go out and have coffee and have Taco Johns with and just enjoy doing ministry with. These 5 C's are critical. Again, don't leave one of them out. From top to bottom, they're critical. They're essential. Your mission, your ministry, the assignment God has on your life, on your church's life, on your team's life is great. But if someone only has 4 of the C's, it's going to eventually be off balanced and frustrating. Think about the 5 C's as the 5 toes on your foot. They say that if you have 4 toes, but you don't have a big toe, your whole balance will be off. You actually will have a difficult time walking. And that is what leadership development can be like. If you have 4 of the toes in place, but you got 1 of the toes, 1 of the C's off, you're going to be eventually have a hard time walking as a ministry, as a team, as a church. You'll eventually be completely off balanced, and you could tip over at any moment and burn out. Remember these 5 C's: calling, commitment, competency, character, and chemistry. They're key elements to a biblical and balanced approach to leadership discernment. So our ministry teams look more like Christ. Hey, that's a bonus C, by the way. When we do it right, we're going to look more like Christ. And who wouldn't want our churches, our ministry, or our network to look more like Jesus? I want to encourage you today, just like I do with my team, evaluate a position right now that you're looking to fill in your organization. And use a checklist like this. Use this checklist right away and let us know how it works for you. We'd love to help you be set up for success and ministry fruitfulness. Listen, it's easy to remember. It's easy to implement. It's an easy and effective way to discern the best fit for the biggest impact. And we pray that this helps you do that as well. If you found this episode helpful today, please, everybody, subscribe and share it with another leader who needs encouragement, who needs a good checklist like this. You never know when someone will be ready for the 5C checklist in ministry. Listen, as always, thank you for investing in your leadership development journey. It is a journey, and that's what the Harvest Network is all about, doing ministry together. And we look forward to seeing you next month right here on the Leadership Development Podcast with the Harvest Network and with Dens. God bless.